Parents, Deacon John Wilson here. A quick video to promote our sessions upcoming for seventh and eighth grade parents. I really want to make sure you know about them coming up, and be sure to click on the video and RSVP for those meetings. They're most important. One thing I want to cover in the meetings is the California math framework that's changing, and you probably do not know about. I want you to have your friends come to the meeting, anybody who's curriculum aware, teachers are encouraged to come. I'm going to really cover that at the meeting for seventh and eighth, and even the upper grades if you're getting this video. My big concern today is I've been really exploring and researching the origin of this idea that we don't teach math in math class. And that's really what I'm saying. If this framework passes, it will continue the movement that was already there to take the math out of math. It's already in your other classes. They're taking the subjects away and replacing with these hard race theories. And these, you'll see in a moment, they're calling it culturally relevant learning. Now, it sounds on the surface like a good thing. Let's take a look at the exact wording. Let's go right to the source. You don't have to worry about me. Look over here at the exact sources. I'm going to read from the website of the State of California Department of Education. It's on culturally relevant pedagogy, or culturally relevant way of teaching, right? And it says the culturally relevant pedagogy helps students to uphold their cultural identities. Remember, they're going to put this in the math class. That's what the whole video I did last week on the faulty data, one of my associates in the math group concerning that faulty data they're providing to the state of California on the San Francisco Unified School District numbers. It's part of this whole idea of emphasizing, or it's because they believe that they're doing the right thing, I bet you. They probably believe that it's right to develop cultural identity. You know who's in charge of developing cultural identity in your house? That will be you. And this is this insidious effort for the schools to co-parent your students. You decide on their cultural identity. You decide on all their other identities too, but that's another conversation. While developing fluency in another culture. How can we even think that that can come into the math class? And what is the other culture? I don't understand. Our public schools, and some of these private schools too. And parents, that's why you need to go to these meetings. Find out what in God's name they're teaching your student. A lot of you found out during the pandemic when you listened on the computer. But that stuff got really bad during the pandemic, and now they're trying to bring it in your classroom. Down here in Long Beach, they openly were discussing it in the May meeting. Go look it up online. They're bringing this stuff in the classroom. If they can get the cultural identity, you know what identity they're coming for next. Culturally relevant pedagogy. Let's read some more here. This is right from the state's website. Culturally relevant pedagogy is a theoretical model. See, they use these theoretical models as if they've been proven to teach your children. Your children are not a social experiment. They're your children. They belong to you and God. Why experiment on our children with a theory? What is going on here? I intend to write a nice email to the California Department of Education board about this. It's a theoretical model that focuses on multiple aspects of student achievement and supports students to uphold there it is again, cultural identities. Culturally relevant pedagogy also calls for students to develop critical perspectives that challenge societal inequalities. That may be, but that's a separate class. All right, tell you what, I'll make a deal with you guys in the state. Leave my parents alone, number one, and teach this stuff in a separate class so they can elect to put their students in. But why does it have to come to the math class and influence the math framework? Because this stuff right here is what's behind the math framework. I wonder what these people are thinking. Gloria Ladson Billings proposed three main components to culturally relevant pedagogy. I think we've been looking into the background of Gloria Ladson Billings I think one of my associates on the math site's looking into that. I'll report on that later. A focus on student learning and academic success. Oh, okay. Why can't we just stop there? But no. B, developing students cultural competence to assist students in developing positive ethnic and social identities. So it's a cultural competence to assist students. I don't know what that means. They're going to assist other students. This thing's not well written, but it looks like it's not math. Social identities, cultural identities. This, there it is. Social identities, cultural identities. Come on. And C, supporting students critical. There's that word critical. I know everybody says, well, we don't have critical race theory. We're not teaching critical race theory. Well, I'm telling you what, you may not be, but I see all the components of it here. I have an earlier video on that if you want to look it up. Well, you can tell it's critical race theory. You know, where your student parents is oppressed, and all white students, because of the color of their skin, are oppressors. I suppose we can say they'll learn that Hispanic students are, I guess, because they're white, a lot of them. I don't know. Supporting students' critical consciousness or their ability to recognize and critique societal inequalities. How is that important in a subject in a class in school? History, we should learn history. There should be a separate class that you can elect and put your students in to learn this stuff. And in fact, they have ethnic studies classes. Why can't that be where it will be? Separated from the subjects. So at least as a parent, you can then tell them in ethnic studies, look, this is what they're covering, just cooperate with it. But if it's in all their classes, what are you going to do? And they say here to hammer it in, all three components need to be utilized. Parents, I tell you, you need to go to the website. It's there. I'll put the link down the bottom of this video, okay? These three components, intellectual growth, student learning, cultural competence, and critical. When you see the word critical, it's going to involve social justice and race. The ability to analyze and solve real world problems, especially those that result in social inequalities. I can see word problems based on their everyday life. I've seen some really great ones like that, and everyday things they know in class in math. But it should not be with this goal in mind, to resolve societal inequalities. Get it out of the math class. What's the matter with these people having a site right out in the open? They have no concern that you as parents are going to follow up and see what in God's name is being taught in these classrooms. And I need you to start doing that. They right here, they put right out in the open all their stuff. I think Ladson Billings is just kind of, I believe there's sort of a Marxist bent in her teaching in the Dream Keepers. Why should we have that kind of person becoming a source for teaching our students? All right, so the purpose here was to get you ready for my session that I'm going to have. We're going to talk about what's going on in the classroom. I'm going to show you how, as a parent, you can get involved, what you should be listening for, what you should be doing to deal with this culturally relevant pedagogy that's behind all the new math framework and all this new stuff, I'll call it, that they're putting into the classes. God bless you. Bye-bye now.